today we're going to have a special guest visitor, Maria Alba from just a random company is probably going to be commenting or texting in. So if any of you all would like to send Maria some outside love, you can.
We need to set up special callers, don't we?
859-355-9002 if you decide to call today, and we'll get your questions answered. As always, you can also ask them in the comment section, and we'll try to get to them as best we can. What are we giving away today, Adam?
Let's give away. I'm trying to think what we have to give away. We can give away one of the new beanies, but I don't have them in yet.
Yeah.
A pre-order giveaway. What do you call that?
Pre-order giveaway. I think guys are gonna want something today.
Want something they can look at?
Nice.
I think they'll be here next week. Like I can get them out, but
I'll give them make Holsett turbochargers great again. My knockoff Trump hat. How about that? So make Holsett turbochargers great again. To today's whoever we randomly choose. It's coming to you. That's it. Let's go. You want to turn the phones on already or no?
Turn them on, bud.
All right, we're going to turn the phones on. If you call, feel free. Nobody here today. Nobody's
No,
talking.
we got questions. On a 6.4, after you've upgraded the turbo, what should your next upgrade be?
After you've upgraded the turbo on 6.4, what should your next upgrade be? Well, is that going to be in line with what you're trying to do for performance wise? I would think that you're at a point then, if you got an automatic transmission, you go ahead and do your transmission upgrades. What are your target horsepowers? You could go ahead and pull the motor down and do a complete build and do pistons and true up the valve train on the truck. So there's a whole lot of different, you've got a whole lot of different options there. I mean, obviously the quickest and fastest upgrade that you're going to do is obviously on fuel side would be an injector upgrade or fuel system upgrade. So it's really just what your target horsepower number is and where you're at with your truck right now.
We get this one a lot, but we have actually had it in a couple episodes. We'll do it again. Benefits to a 5-inch turbo back with eliminating the catalytic converter versus 4-inch of the same thing. And also, I guess he's wanting you to discuss the benefits of catback instead.
The only reason that you would want to retain your catalytic converters if you are an area that is going to require you to do so. I would think that your difference between your 4-inch and your 5-inch exhaust is probably a horsepower rating. I'm going to throw a number at it, and it's a moving target. It depends on what you've got done to your truck. But if you're above 700 horsepower, you're probably going to want to be in 5-inch just from a performance standpoint. Less than that, a little bit smaller exhaust is going to lend itself into giving you a little bit quicker turbo spool up. Keep a little bit of back pressure on the turbo itself. So, that's my thought on it. Really, it's small. It's a small amount of both. So, like I said, either way you go, you're probably fine. If you want to just do 5-inch, because that's the trend right now. Everybody wants to do 5-inch.
That's a sound thing.
Yeah. And it's a sound thing. It's a sound thing, too.
It's not like 5-inch. If you love the sound of 5-inch, it's not like going with 5-inch is going to hurt you.
03 to 07 Dodge's Common Rail, just so you know, our number one selling exhaust for those trucks is 5-inch exhaust. It's loud in the cab. It's very, very loud. And it'll get louder the harder you load it. So as long as you know that going forward, the choice is yours.
It's got a 6.0 Ford. It's a different person. 6.0 Ford. He's done some tuning in the intake. What's his next step to do?
So 6.0 Ford tuning and intake. You could look at doing we'll just go ahead and take into consideration that you've already, bulletproofed the truck. You've done an EGR upgrade or an EGR delete, so on and so forth. You've got an upgrade oil cooler in the truck. All of the groundwork you've already laid inside the motor. What's your next step? Maybe a nice small injector if you want to. Upgraded fuel system, fast, or an air dog. Maybe look at doing a high performance, high pressure oil pump. There's quite a few different ways that you can go there. Small fuel system or an upgraded turbo is probably one of the first steps after tuning.
What twin turbo setups would you recommend for an LB7?
Depends on how you want to do it. If you want to do it as an added turbo kit, we offer several different manufacturers for that. Duramax Tunder's got some nice kits out. Everybody, BD, H&S Motorsports, whatever you want to do there. ATS has got a good kit. I think all the manufacturers are good. You're just going to want to keep in mind what you're going to want to do with the truck and what your target horsepower is, because you can underdo it. When you're putting twin turbos on, a lot of people go into twin turbos with the misconception that as soon as these things touch my truck, there's going to be some wizardry that goes on, and all of a sudden I'm going to be 20,000 horsepower. That's not it. If you have to make sure that you do the right research and you go into the right kit that's set up for where you're at, fueling wise, because you could you spend a whole lot of money and maybe only get 75 horsepower. We see that a lot. Guys will buy a towing setup that's set to that's designed to be very, very quick spooling, instant response. It's really not there for target horsepower, huge horsepower, and they don't get the result they want. So do your research. Anything we can do to help you, let us know.
Kyle Engel
Oh boy!
would like to know, how would one go about growing such a badass salt and pepper beard?
Oh my God! Well, you got to wake up one day and decide you're going to do No Shave November. Then everybody in your office has got to piss and moan about how ugly your beard is. So then you just keep it on. Basically, Kyle, I know you. You know how we do it. I'm just doing this to make everybody mad, but dude, I can't do it anymore. It's starting to itch me, and I don't think she's bound for long. Mud.
His only downfall is that the wife is digging the beard quite a bit. So
Kyle, good to hear from you, man. I hope you're doing well. The baddest, if you got an 1986 Suzuki, whatever they were, KZ750 or whatever, Kyle come buy that banana seat SOB from you, and he will turn it into a chopper-ish looking thing that look it running right off of Harley's floor, man. Talented guy.
All right, 2012 Cummins. What's the best way to get 600 horsepower reliable daily driver? So far I have deleted. Did it with an H&S, pusher intake, Banks intake, 5-inch exhaust, intercooler pipes from pusher as well.
CP3 upgrade, and a light set of injectors. Definitely, it's going to be harder to accomplish on the stock turbo, man. If you go in to do it, if you go ahead, you can do it a couple different ways. You'll be knocking on it if you do fuel. If you do CP3 and injectors, you'll be knocking on it. You're still going to have the restriction of the stock turbo. Go ahead and do a second gen swap to a nice turbo on that, like an Aurora 5000 or a Silver Bullet 66, 472, S472, whatever. You're gonna be there.
I don't see a faster air dog in that list. Is he gonna be able to get there without one of those?
Oh, you'll definitely need an upgraded lift pump as well. Just taking into consideration that he's done all the.
That was one thing that I didn't see on there. Let's see what's next. Corey Chapman from across the street. This is another CrossFit question.
Another CrossFit question.
Apparently 3 o'clock on a Thursday. They must not have a class at that time.
There ain't a whole lot going on over there. Ain't a whole lot going on.
Do you like your carbs pre or post workout? Which do you find to be the most anabolic for bulking season?
Bulking season. Well, that's a good question. As you can tell, I am bulking up this time of the year. February is always the worst run for me because you're inside, man, and my damn is it calisthenics? Is that a word? My kinetic energy, some shit's down. It's carbohydrates. What is it when they do it a lot of it, a lot of times, and it just doesn't give you shit? I don't know. Here's what I'm saying to you is you want your carbs pre and post, so you get it pre-burn and post-burn. You get it both ways going. That's the best I know. If you guys are looking for a good CrossFit studio, come to Winchester, Kentucky. Move here, bring your family and everybody, and join Strode Station CrossFit. These guys will have you where you got no neck in a matter of seconds. It'll be awesome. You'll be throwing balls at walls and climbing shit and turning upside down and a lot of stuff I can't do, man. You know what I'm saying? But hey, if you need maters grown, you can come see me for that. You want to bulk up, you go see Corey in the boys.
All the carbs,
all the
time.
Carbs, yeah. All the carbs, pre and post. Never during. You'll crap your pants. You know that.
Corey, who had the 5-inch exhaust question earlier, said, "If I live in Kentucky, how much jail time will I get if I get caught driving on the street without my catalytic converter?"
You're not gonna have any run-ins with the EPA here, sir. I don't believe that.
Yeah, we won't swear by that.
Yeah, we won't swear by that.
But low.
Very low.
Yeah.
Minuscule.
I have a 2012 Cummins H&S Mini.
All the cursing I've done today is all because of CrossFit.
I didn't even hear you curse that much in it.
Well, I'm trying not to. You never know whose grandmother's watching this. You know?
That should be a T-shirt right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop trying to cuss because you never know whose grandmother's listening.
That's exactly right. the guys from Barstool Sports probably aren't listening to this. I hope they are though.
I have a 2012 6.7 Cummins H&S Minimax 4-inch turbo back exhaust system, 45K on the truck. Dealer did an oil change, and ever since then, I'm getting a wicked burning oil smell when hot. Although I'm not pushing any smoke or burning any oil. You got any ideas on that?
No, I don't. I don't. Other than before you get a burning oil smell, there's gonna have to be some oil evaporation somewhere. I'm sure that you've already got underneath the truck. Check the fuel filter, oil filter. Made sure that it was tight. What if they used the wrong oil? What if they use too thin of an oil? What if they use like a 10W30 or something like that? Something that's really not this time of year that you're supposed to be using in the motor. Just for safety's sake, I just redo it. I mean, it really does. It sucks. You know, it's $80 just blown out of the wind. If you've made sure that you don't have any external leaks, you're not consuming any oil, any of the normal stuff, I'd drain it. It's not worth it. You know, in a $40,000 vehicle, drain it, redo it.
What is your opinion on the AFC Lime for the P-Pump Cummins? Did we ever establish what?
Yeah,
you did the research on AFC Lime. Didn't you?
The company changed hands. I don't know exactly what went on there, so I hope I'm not speaking out of turn on that as well. We have not had one in here to test. Our shop foreman, he's got a 12 valve. I'd like to get one in here to do it. The theory is solid. It's all there. If you've got a light horsepower truck and you want the ability to defuel on the fly, that's the product for you. Good engineering, good looking product as well. From what I've seen, I've seen it. I've seen it. We brought one in for stock and just checked it out, and then turned around and sold it, the next day. But solid product so far. I have not had any complaints on it.
So is that what happened? And it was the same product and just changed it
when they first hit the ground.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right. 02 Cummins 6-speed. Around 512 horsepower.
Okay.
I was on our dyno. Has a Fleece Performance turbo and a stock housing. What is the best size upgrade exhaust manifold for that setup? Stay with a T3. Can you go to a T4? What's your thoughts on going stainless or not?
Between T3 and stainless,
he's probably leaning towards stainless, but I thought we would just word that differently and give your thoughts on stainless for other people watching.
If you're going stainless and versus cast, which is two different material comparisons, but cast is fine, especially as long as it's got, for lack of a better word, slip joints in it for expansion and contraction, so you're not going to have cracking. That being said, depends on what turbo that you're going to go with. Now, between T3 and T4 foot, you're talking about miles apart between the difference in the turbo foot, because there are so many turbos now that are built on a T3 foot that are almost restrictive. There's a lot of turbos now that are built on a T4 foot just because a lot of engineers are lazy and they just want everything in their lineup to be on a T4 foot. Probably doesn't need to be. So with that being said, it's really going to depend on what turbo that you decide to go with. Obviously, is going to be the manifold that you go with for sure. For sure. I mean, that's your determining factor.
When using an additive in your fuel, do you have the phone on? I thought I heard you kill it earlier.
I killed it when we started asking a bunch of questions. Sorry. Phone's on. 859-355-9002. Come on, Maria, call. You know you want to.
When using an additive in your fuel, what do you recommend? I've been running Lucas Injector Cleaner, but should I be using anything else? I heard people are using ATF and other stuff.
We don't suggest that you use anything that is not a fuel additive, that is labeled as a fuel additive. So we say this probably every week. Don't use motor oil, ATF, two-stroke oil, so on and so forth, any of those things, because there are properties inside of each one of those chemicals, maybe too much detergent, so on and so forth. But we want to keep you strictly in fuel additives themselves. So you'll want to use Lucas is a good brand. We offer Standardine. Standardine is a very good brand. There's several different brands of fuel additives out there. Make sure you stay inside of fuel additives because you're going to get an increased cetane rating, which is going to get you better fuel economy, better efficiency, more lubricity, anti-gelling products or anti-gelling properties, so on and so forth. Lucas is fine, man. If you want to switch to another one, just make sure it is a diesel fuel additive.
Corey, you've got a whole lot of questions about your exhaust, man. We'll be happy to answer them for you. Give the guys here at the shop a call, and let's get you on phone so you can ask your questions back and forth and get them all answered instead of having to do it like this where we can answer one every 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
The shop number is 859-737-4966. If you want to go ahead and give that a call, one of the guys up front will be happy to help you out.
Toll free on it. Yeah, toll free on it. It's 866-737-4966.
So I have the guy who I think should win the hat today. If you want to put the hat on while you answer the question, this is probably one of my favorite questions I've ever seen.
This is great, man. I hope this is something else.
So Sean Nelson, you're going to be the hat winner today.
Yeah.
Of Wade's Holset Make Holset Turbochargers Great Again hat. And here's Sean's question. Going on a date this weekend, do I take the first gen Cummins, the first gen 6.9 IDI, or the 6.2 Detroit diesel? All are single cab long box. What should he go with?
I think you take the first gen Cummins just for the cool factor. You want to take anything that's going to give you the optimum amount of cab room for the activities that you're planning for the date. So if it's going to be a good date, let's take something with a little bit more cab room, Sean. Absolutely. And I hope you wear this hat during the entire date.
That might be one of my favorite questions ever.
Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. Take something with lots of leg room, Bubby. Good luck
Sean,
to you,
great question.
man.
Message the page, Sean. I'll catch up with you afterwards, and we'll get you
That's
get
awesome,
you your
man.
giveaway.
Good luck to you, son.
04.5 Cummins automatic trans. What's the best way to go? Rebuild or buy new trans all the way? And best parts, brands to run lots of slow farming, towing, running 450 horsepower range.
Okay.
Sorry, I struggled with that one.
So if you decide to do a rebuild, if you've got an alternate vehicle that you can drive, you can do a rebuild, do a little bit of studying on it, learn about your transmission, and do the rebuild yourself. That'll be great for you. You're probably going to mess it up the first time, might take out some components, but the more you learn about your vehicle, the better off that you are, and the more self-sufficient you are. My suggestion is to do a rebuild kit. If you don't have time to fool with that, this is your daily driver. Absolutely, let's do a drop-in transmission. Get you up, get you ready to go. You're down maybe a day's time. That's perfect. That's my suggestion. If time's an issue, do a box transmission. Time's not an issue, do the rebuild or have someone do the rebuild and save yourself the time.
Who's calling?
Cleaver, and Wes. Wes was the first one.
Was it?
Yeah.
We don't get a lot of work done during Q&As.
Hell no, we don't get a lot of phone calls because all the employees are calling.
What's your thoughts on an ATS or the Sinister Turbo for a 6.0?
Depends on what you're talking about. If the Sinister is just the Power Max, I don't think there are any proprietary changes to the ones that are marketed as Power Maxes. The 6.0 Turbo from ATS is a ground up design change. Yeah, it's a ground up design change.
Rebuild's not the right word.
I'm not going to choose one there. If you're looking for a drop-in, just a full drop-in turbo, I would think that if it is the Power Max is definitely a drop-in turbo. If you're looking for a better horsepower gamut to go into, perhaps ATS is a way for you to go. A little bit more changing around that needs to be done there. So, but they kind of opens you up to more opportunities. So, I think both are good. It's all going to depend on your horsepower number. And I know that's or your horsepower goal. I know we say that all the time, but it really is. It's easy to ask a question, hey, what works best for me? But we really need to know more about you and what your goals are, and what your goals for the truck are.
96 12 valve. I don't know if you're going to know this or not. Do you have anybody to recommend to bench a P7100 to 550 to 600 cc's?
We can have it done for you. Just give us a call. We'll set you up on R&R. We'll use any of the number of manufacturers that we offer. DDP can do it. Industrial can do it. I can have it done here in Kentucky. So on and so forth. BD, we can have BD do it, so we can totally get it done. Prices are going to vary depending on what needs to be done to your pump, so we won't quote you the price. We'll just have to get the pump up, take a look at it, set it up on the R&R, then we'll quote it out to you and go from there. That's a good question. We offer that for on just about anything, agricultural pumps, injectors, so on and so forth.
I have a 2005-9 206K. Got a VP from you guys. Put it in, bled it. It started right up, ran good, no codes. Shut it off, and now it won't start back up. Bled again, won't start now. Could it be the return line, or injector, or rings, or any other ideas you got?
I'd want to know what the original reason that you put a VP44 on the truck was. So there's a couple of different things going on here. If the truck will not start at all, you have bled it, you have relieved the pressure on it, and the truck will not start, and you are 100% certain that you have positive lift pump pressure. You know that the truck is getting fuel. The first thing that we would want to do is we're going to want to make sure that we check the codes, check the lift pump pressure, figure out what the original reason you bought a VP44 from us first. Could be the VP44. We've had them bad out of the box before. It's a low chance of it, but we'll be glad to help you through it. David Sidwell takes care of all of our VP44 warranties. He is a great technician on the VP44s. You can call him directly. Ask to call up here, 866-737-4966. Ask to speak to David, and we'll work through it with you, man. Hard starting and no starting are two completely different things. If you're saying the truck is hard starting, we can totally help you out with that, figure that out. If it's no starting, well, there's a lot more diagnostics that we need to do to help you figure that out.
Bought an AirDog 2 from you all. After about a year, the pump went out. Got a new one under warranty. Since reinstalling the new pump, fuel pressure will drop below 5 psi anytime truck drops below half tank. It's a 99 Cummins.
You could very possibly have a bad fuel gauge. I tell people this all the time. 98 to 90, well, shoot, the 94 to 02s, the sending unit in the tank, trash. It's absolute junk. So the truck could be saying half a tank in it. It might only have an eighth of a tank in it. So you're going to kind of want to hand calculate your mileage, see where you're at right there, and try to get a better grasp on that. It sounds like it's a low fuel condition. If you have, and also more on that, if you put a drawstring in it and you cut it too short, that could be causing the cavitation that you're seeing. So you're going to have a loss of fuel pressure there. That more than likely is probably what burned up the motor in the first pump. So you can give us a call. We'll definitely be glad to help you through it. You can call AirDog. AirDog will help you through it. Either way it goes, we'll figure it out for you, man.
Anthony Reams wants to know, does
Call. Phone's on, bub. I mean, that's all you got to do is pick her up. Call. Hey, Colin, we'll talk about Branson's shower videos.
Jaron asked me about that. I had no clue if he would know what he was talking about.
Are you not following Branson on Snapchat?
I don't even know who Branson is. Is that
here he is right here. Talk to me, son.
Are you not following Branson? I need to know what he thinks he's a big old boy or not.
If who he is?
Hey, rookie, turn your radio off.
What?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I got
can.
you, man.
The video's echoing in the background real bad.
What's going on, Reams?
What do you think, he's a big old boy or what?
He's a pretty big old boy, Bubby. He's a pretty big old boy. Hey, do you see Missouri women got the big win over Kentucky the other night?
It's the only good sport we got in Missouri right now is women's basketball.
Hey, they're holding it down, man. They're holding it down. Kim Anderson is not the answer, brother.
Hey, well, I'm going to let you get back to playing grab ass. Me and Wizzo's out here killing it. I just want to let you know, all right?
Hey, man, I'm sorry about the grab ass, bro, Bubby. Hey, Wizzo, happy birthday, Bubby.
All right, love you,
All
guys. Good to you.
See you, man. That was our friend Anthony Reams from XDP. If you guys just absolutely do not want to do business with us, we hope you're doing business with XDP. They're pretty good guys for a bunch of queers. So, sorry about that. Except for Wizzo. Wizzo's a good dude. Thanks for calling, man.
The amount of people that think that the companies hate each other,
yeah,
and then we all hang out and have a good time. Yeah. It's the customers that want to argue between.
Hey, everybody hates us, but we love everybody.
I keep the camera. That's my fault. All right, Sean, we got all kinds of new hats and stuff, man. Just when you stop by to get your air dog filters, just ask whoever's up front. They'll be happy to show you what we got. So,
grab ass. Oh man.
That made me feel like a radio show right there because I could hear us playing in the background. Yeah. It was one of those people that calls in and has the radio playing the whole time. And all right, best injectors to increase fuel economy and give a decent power gain. Nothing huge, just a small, safe increase in power. This is 6.0.
I don't think it's really brand specific here as much as it is size wise. You don't want to go with anything that's going to compromise your high pressure oil pump or overwhelm your high pressure oil pump. So anything that stays within the output rating of what your high pressure oil pump is and what you've already got done to the truck, you're going to be a whole lot happier with. So we carry Swamps, we carry industrial injection, all the big names, DDP, all of those are good injectors. You want to probably stay in a light injector, and I know it's not for you Ford guys. I know everybody wants to talk in CCs and percent over and the body percentage to the nozzle percentage, but let's just keep it simple. You're just not going to want to go with anything probably above about a 50 horsepower injector, and make sure you do regulated return on that too. So any of the manufacturers that I mentioned, those are all good choices as well.
Well, we're kind of running out of questions here.
Hey, we've run out of questions, Adam. It's 3:30.
We're early.
We can go another few minutes.
We'll go another few minutes.
Okay.
What we talking about in training this morning? I heard you talking about a lot of stuff. I thought that would actually be something good to talk about.
So we talked about Pack Brake right now. One of the things that we're working on with Pack Brake as a distributor for Pack Brake is making sure that everything is as simplified as it can be for you guys. A lot of you guys are buying older trucks and you're using them just for towing applications, which is a whole different set of circumstances in itself. But if you're a first time buyer of a camper and you buy an older truck that just kind of fits you more financially and you're able to couple it with a camper, that's good for you. We want to help you work on all the stuff that you need for that. We offer hitches. We offer fifth wheel solutions. We also offer Pack Brake as an exhaust brake, ride control, so on and so forth. So think of us when you're thinking about your towing needs for this summer. But Pack Brake is definitely one that we're trying to concentrate on getting it simplified, so it makes it very easy for you to be able to shop at home on Saturdays and Sundays when we're not here to answer your questions. But you can always wait till Monday and call us, man. We'll be glad to help you for sure. So that's what we talked about, is just trying to simplify Pack Brake for you just a little bit. And if you tried to purchase Pack Brake from us and it was confusing, give us a call and we'll get you taken care of. I feel very scripted today. I'm not as scripted. I'm not this scripted in real life. Like, this is real life.
Yes, Wade, it is real life.
Yeah, it's real life. So, talking about Branson. Branson is my buddy from S&S Diesel Motorsports. Branson's a good dude. If you guys are not following Branson on Snapchat, I don't know how the Snapchat handles go. I'm trying to talk Reams into getting Snapchat.
Where's he from?
He's with S&S.
Okay.
S&S. He's with S&S. If you don't have Branson Redford on your Snapchat list, you definitely need to get him because he's a good American. That's all I can say about Branson. He's a good American. When you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and you're drinking beer and shooting guns, you're a good American.
I don't know if you're a productive member of society or not,
but a good American for sure. Absolutely. Okay. He's a productive member of society. He's doing a lot of crap. There ain't no doubt about that.
Now, you see, what we did there is we lollygagged around long enough that we built up a few questions.
Hey, you all call it playing grab ass. We call it, what do we call it? Intermediate or interlude. We call it interlude.
Thoughts on aftermarket oil or coolant cooler for an 03 F350?
That's kind of a trick question with the 6.0s because, Ford wants to harp about the only using motorcraft filters. As long as you are keeping a filtration rate and a flow rate to be able to not hinder the efficiency of the oil cooler, and you are getting proper filtration, that's going to be a great thing. Coolant filtration is going to be a great thing, especially on the older trucks. I think coolant filtration needs to be on all light duty diesels. I really do. It's on most heavy duty diesel trucks. It should be on light duty diesels too. The good thing on the 6.0s is it's actually filtering out that sand that was left behind by some of the block casting, so you're catching a lot of that too. There's a lot of different coolant filters out there on the market. As long as they're using a filter, they're working. You know what I mean?
2013 Cummins. Are there any real bulletproof mods that need to happen?
Right out of the gate, head studs. I mean, you really, with the amount of back pressure on the motor and the inefficiency of the stock turbocharger, I would say right out of the gate, your man just ought to do drop-in studs on them.
Are they as bad as a 6.0 needing studs?
They are, yes, as bad. Absolutely as bad. Probably. Yeah, absolutely bad.
Don't say
yeah.
Well, that's so hard to gauge, though, because there's so many. I wonder what the production rate is of the 6.0 to the...
Oh, it's astronomically. I think it's 4-1. Somebody correct me on that. I know that somebody knows that number. It may even be 6-1.
So hard to gauge how bad it would be just with that.
In percentages. So, but much more of an inefficient turbocharger in the 351. So, this is Wade. Can I help you?
Yeah, Wade. This is Matt. I have a question for you.
Uh-huh.
I got it's a 98.5 Dodge 24 valve.
Uh-huh.
And I got an injection pump out.
Okay.
And I was wanting to get the hot rod pump.
Okay.
Now, if I do the hot rod pump, do I have to do injectors right away?
You will need to do injectors right away, and we would suggest that you don't do the hot rod pump without doing it at the very least a 100 horsepower injector and a pretty aggressive fueling box. The reason for that being is the head and rotor inside the VP44 pump is not able to relieve itself without a bigger injector or an aggressive fueling box on the truck, so you can actually put too much restriction on the head and rotor inside the VP44 and you'll wreck it. And it would be a non-warrantable condition if that happens.
Okay. Now, what can I go with? Because I got the edge comp on it and I got the air dog fuel system on it, 150.
Okay.
Now, what can I do without going with injectors right away?
The stock VP44 will flow up to 500 horsepower with the correct turbo combinations. Absolutely will. We've had, I can't tell you how many trucks in here that we've had on the dyno that have made 500 horsepower on the stock pump. So I think if you're not wanting to do an injector upgrade, that stock pump is going to be the ticket for you. When you cross over the threshold of doing injectors, you're making the truck very, very smoky. Even if you put the most efficient turbocharger on it that you possibly can, even just a instantly, spooling, so on and so forth, even a completely hypothetical turbocharger, if there was one that was instant boost all the time and it was making 10 pounds while you were sitting at idle, the truck's still going to be smoky. So if that's the reason why you're wanting to avoid putting injectors in the truck, I totally understand that. But I mean, if big time horsepower is your goal, you're going to have to go with an injector at some point.
Okay, because what the problem is, I got two trucks right now. I got a 2008 with the 6.7 in it, and I absolutely hate that 6.7. I do not. I like the 24 valve a lot better.
Okay.
So I'm debating, and everybody's telling me to do the delete kit on the 2008.
Yes.
And they said you'll like the truck a hell of a lot better. Put programmer, fast fuel system, this and that on it.
Right.
So
night and day difference in the truck if you decide to take it that route for sure. They're telling you the truth.
That's why I wanted, because I was keeping that 98, but I was going to do more to that 98 if I decided to keep it, because I was going to sell that 2008 and put all the money in that 98.
Yeah, right.
And how much do you guys usually charge at your shop by hour?
We're $85 an hour.
Okay. Because I've heard a lot of good stuff about you, and because I watch you all the time, when you do the Facebook stuff.
Yeah. Well, thanks, man. I can help you out with any of that. I mean, you can come in and sit down and we'll talk about what you're wanting to do. I don't think it's a situation where you really need to sell the other truck to make money for the other one. You know what I mean? I think we can find a happy medium between the two trucks for you for sure, or definitely assist you in it.
Right. Because that delete on it, because when I bought the truck, they took off the catalytic converters. They bought the kit for that to take off the two converters on it.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't get the EGR delete on it.
Okay.
So now the truck, it's just running stupid because it's not doing what it's supposed to do for the EGR.
Yeah.
All that stuff's not doing what it's supposed to do. So I was wanting to get the delete kit for that. And do you guys have the delete kit for that?
You know what? We can talk more about it while you're here. How about that?
Okay. All right.
But yeah, you're definitely touching on something. Once you take one of the control systems off there versus the other, the two of them work in harmony. If you don't have programming to back it up, then none of it's going to operate correctly.
Right.
Yeah, it's really not just that we can just, you can cut it off and go down the road. You're going to have programming to back it up. So.
Where are you guys actually located at?
We are in Winchester, Kentucky.
Winchester. How far is that from Walton, Kentucky area?
Walton. We're probably an hour south of you.
Okay.
Right at it. So not too bad.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Well, I'm gonna see what time, because I work for CSX, so I'm all the time on call and stuff.
Yeah.
And maybe, are you open on the weekends?
There is someone here from 9 to 2 on Saturday. We usually we only do phone tech on Saturdays, but if you're in the area between 9 and 2, stop by and one of the guys will be glad to talk to you. They don't do any floor sales from 9 to 2 on Saturdays, but there'll be somebody here that could talk to you.
Okay, because I definitely want you guys to work on them, because I've heard a lot of good stuff about you and everything.
Yeah, well, we'll do everything we can to help you, man.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I'll see what time I can get off, and I'll try through the week to actually get to talk to you and everything. Sit down with you and talk to you.
That'll work. What was your name?
Matt.
Matt. Okay. Well, Matt, just give us a call, man. We'll be glad to help you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Wade.
All right. Have a good one, buddy. See you, man.
You too.
Bye-bye. I think we ran a little longer, didn't we?
That's all right.
Matt, thanks for calling, man.
We're good. We're still under 40 minutes, so we'll do one more question.
Any more haters of the beard?
No, you're doing pretty good. Miles Campbell, you want to answer his question?
Absolutely.
And then we'll answer one last real question.
Ask me who's a better fisherman between two
Miles
of us.
says, I've got a cat stuck in my gas tank, and I was just wondering if you could recommend a specific type of fuel to suck it out.
I'd say keep pumping fuel in it until you pop him out the neck, bub. Where is his cat? It's in the kitchen.
I think it is in the kitchen.
Yeah, it is in the kitchen.
All right.
I hope you got that water pump fixed, Mac.
You'll love this question. I'm just going to ask it anyway. How much horsepower can I get out of the stock head studs before changing them on an 0159? I love how we both did the same sigh before.
It's not, and it's not. It's a perfectly legitimate question. Please don't take our side as we're picking on you, because that's not it. It's a totally legitimate question. It's really not a horsepower number. It really has to do with more of how you use the truck and what turbo is on the truck. If you're running a very inefficient turbocharger that runs 55 to 60 psi, that type of a boost pressure with a low flow, that's going to cause you a lot more stretch on the head. That's where you're going to squirt a gasket out, for lack of a better adjective.
That's an awesome adjective.
Squirt.
Squirt a gasket.
Let's never say that again. But it's to do with pressure. It really is to do with pressure and how you drive the truck. There's a lot more factors into that, but that's what we see. If you're running a charger that is a little bit lower PSI and a higher flow, you're going to live longer. Hey, if it's even in question, I'll tell you the same thing I say on transmissions and lift pumps and so on and so forth. It's even in question in your mind of how far can I go before I break this. Don't break it. Go on and fix it. Go on and put the head studs in there, and then you don't have to worry about it. So much easier to do it that way. So much easier to do it reverse of what you think is the right way to do it. It's you'll thank me. I promise you will.
Do you know Chris Reeser?
I do know Chris Reeser.
Well, he's on here.
He's famous.
He wants to know, I have a friend that has a cat stuck in his valve intake. He's embarrassed to ask.
Yeah, asking for a friend. Same thing we went with Miles's diagnosis. I would just go ahead and try to pump the little bastard out. Cussed again. A lot of cat questions.
I don't think bastard counts. I think it's fair enough.
About 90% of the conversations that I have with Reeser, I usually wind up cussing profusely. Yeah. So it's fine, man. We've known each other 20 years.
A lot of cat issues today.
A lot of cat issues. I damn near lost a cat last week. Did I tell you all that?
No.
Had a coon attack one of my barn cats. So, rough on cats around my place.
Just start trapping the coons?
I'm going to start trapping coons.
I got a trap.
Did you really?
No, I've had one for years.
Like a live trap?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with too. I've got live traps, but I'm really wanting to do it the old, I don't think it's beard way.
Yeah, I've definitely got them for sure.
Footholds.
Oh, now Maria Alba's on here.
Oh,
Maria, we're wrapping up.
Yep, you're too late. You're too late. Which is common.
Came in with what's the mess on your face. That's
oh my god. That's all she's got.
We just won't leave it there.
That's all she's
got.
All right.
Same time next week, 3:00.
Hope we were able to help somebody out there today. Please enjoy your hat to that one kid. Make sure you drive the truck with the most leg room. Tell her she looks nice when you pick her up, and say bye, Wade. Bye, Wade.
You don't even need me anymore.
I know. Shut her off.
Turn off the TV.